Are we live? We live. What's good, people? Welcome to a Dash of Sports, the Premier League show. Happy Prem new season to you all. We're back. I'm back. Premier League football is back. And what an exciting game it was yesterday, especially for us Arsenal fans. We've been looking so forward to this first game of the season. It's come and it's gone, and we was really excited about it yesterday. If you didn't know, the Premier League started back up again. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, much anticipated, a lot of excitement. Some, fans gassed over the preseason and how Arsenal have been doing well over the preseason. But Lord and behold, everybody knew that it would be a tough game at Sellers Park. Anyway, Arsenal came away with a 2-0 win. Fantastic. Man, let me just tell you, as an Arsenal fan, it was, I don't know, going into the game, I wasn't all the way confident, but, my fingers were crossed that we would be able to obviously show a good display, a good account of ourselves, and just kind of go into this game knowing that we're fully prepared. Anyway, before I get into everything, just to let you know that a Dash of Sports, the main show, will be back as well. This is the Premier League show where I'll give you all the updates, the reviews, the previews of all the Premier League games. And like I said, the Premier League season is back, up and running. So this is what you're going to be, the kind of content that you're going to be getting from me. Anyway, so just jumping on to the game yesterday, as you know, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. It ended 2-0. Goals from Gabriel Martinelli and an own goal from Mark Gay. Now, let me just jump straight into it, because the game itself, Arsenal did show a very good account of themselves. They showed a very good account of themselves. There was a lot of talk about how well Arsenal are going to get into this game. With the likes of Gabriel Jesus being signed, you got the Zinchenko now, Saliba, and a year on from the other players from the previous season. So, as you've seen in All or Nothing documentary, if you've not watched it, go and check it out. Last season, Arsenal were very much ill prepared. There was so much going on in regards to whether it be the COVID, whether players were brought in late in the window. So many things was going on in regards to that game heading into Brentford. But this time around, the overriding feeling from Arsenal fans is the fact that there was a good preparation. We did the signings quite early, and just the overall feeling of the squad going into this game against Crystal Palace was a good one. Even from rival fans as well, really gassing up Arsenal, which I'm hating right now because it's actually a give and take. Because when people are dissing Arsenal, you're just like, oh man, come on, man, give us a break. And then when they're trying to gas us up, you're just like, I can't really trust your opinions on that. But all in all, it was a good game, a really good game. I would say, in terms of just analyzing the game as a whole, I don't want to get gassed. Don't want to get gassed because it is the first game of the season. So, to be critical or overly critical, I think it would be unfair. But it was just a good, I don't know, a good marker just to see how we prepared. I know I keep using the word preparation a lot and being prepared, but it's really key. This is where it comes into it in regards to pre-season. A lot of people will be turning around and saying, pre-season doesn't matter, it doesn't count. But I really feel that pre-season is very important, because you need to be in a situation where when you're going into the season, you are looking forward to just getting it on, and you are ready and you are prepared. And like I said, from last season, you saw already like the difference in terms of not being prepared, going in against Brentford, getting absolutely bullied in comparison to the Crystal Palace game this time around. And I felt like the players, the physicality in terms of being the physicality of the game, Arsenal were able to cope. You can see in terms of like the play, how they just started the first 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. Arsenal started like a house on fire. They just literally were hounding down Crystal Palace. Now, I know I don't want to just try and make this all about Arsenal or whatnot, but Crystal Palace as well, you can see in terms of what I'm talking about preparation, they also had their issues. This half squad business. They had a tour of Australia, and half of their squad was, able to go. Half of the squad was in England. So in terms of their preparation, that kind of knocked them a little bit. So whether they were prepared for this game or not, they still pretty much gave a really good account of themselves. They rolled their luck for the first 20 minutes or so, but then fully established themselves. And that's what's to be expected of Crystal Palace, especially at Selhurst Park. Packed full to the rafters. The fans, like, if I've never been Selhurst Park, but just watching it on TV, you can just see like one of those small kind of stadiums with just massive atmosphere. Kind of reminds me of the old Highbury days. Now, some people will say, Highbury Library and all of that. But when you've got those small kind of intimate stadiums, you can really generate the noise that you need. The fans, anything that you do, like there was a crunching tackle from Decore, and that just got the fans up. So it's just a situation of just understanding how to deal with that kind of atmosphere. And I felt like Arsenal did. I felt like, in spells they showed, especially Gabriel Jesus, man, the movement from this guy, in and around the box. You can find him on the left, you can find him on the right, central. He's everywhere. And this is pretty much, you can see, if you've not watched Arsenal preseason games, you can see definitely in that game last night that this is the reason why Mikel Arteta bought Jesus, because he wanted someone that would be able to just be hungry up there and relentless with the press, which is very much infectious, because you can see that the likes of Gabriel Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, they're just busy up there. But, I felt like in the first 15, 20 minutes, once they kind of put all their energies into that play within that period of time, you can see that they slightly gassed out a little bit. And that is to be expected, I reckon. That was to be expected, because you're in a situation where, like, you're excited, you are anxious, it must have been nerve-wracking being the first team to be playing out there, first game of the season under the lights. You know, it's going to be taxing on the fitness. This is why Patrick Vieira was also worried about his team, because the intensity of the game was actually really high in the first 20 to 25 minutes or so. So this is why Vieira was worried about his team, because in terms of the split squad, he wasn't able to really get a proper preseason. But they actually did quite well, Crystal Palace, in preseason. They did quite well, but it just wasn't ideal in terms of their preparation. Arsenal, they've just been going gung ho in their preseason, so their fitness was also to be tested. And it's like, how can I put it? It's like in boxing, if I reference it, like you can be sparring, you could be doing all the rounds, 15 rounds sparring or whatever, but when you go out there in the ring on fight night, it's a different type of fitness that you're gonna have to endure, because everything else comes into it. So you saw that from Arsenal. Second half of the first half, you could see that the levels kind of dropped. There was a wicked chance from Gabriel Martinelli, man. Jesus was just dancing in the box area, and then toe poked it, hit, I think, the goalkeeper. It's come out to Gabriel Martinelli. Now, this is the situation where I think it's a bit unfair when we do the comparisons of players and stuff like that. But when you're touching that left-hand side and you're cutting in, you've got to open up your body, man. Henry style. But Gabriel Martinelli went with his left foot, and it's gone wide. So at that particular time, I'm just like, oh my goodness, come on. Don't let it be one of these games where we have opportunities, especially during a period of a good spell. So he's missed it. Then the game's gone on. Then we've had a wonderful opportunity from a corner, and there's a lot been made of in regards to a set piece, a coach doing this and doing that, which was the same as last season when it came to the point where we didn't concede a lot of goals last season from set pieces. I think towards the back end we started conceding. So once again, the set piece coach has been lauded for the goal that we scored. Crossing deep, Zinchenko's then peeled off from the edge of the box to the back post, headers it back. There's a melee a bit in terms of like trying to clear it. I think at that particular time, who was it? Partey's jumped up, cleared Partey's head. Martinelli just behind, nods it in, 1-0 to Arsenal. So at this point, we're just like, all right, yeah. First goal of the new Premier League season. Arsenal 1-0 up. And then after that, there was some jittery moments. Now, going into this game, I think the only, how can I put it? I wasn't expecting a lot in terms of Arsenal just blitzing Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace is a really, really strong team, especially at home. I think that the kind of stuff that I was looking for was just how Arsenal could cope during this type of pressure. Once again, a curtain raiser for the Premier League. So the things that I was looking for was just the normal stuff that Arsenal go through, like defensively. How defensively strong would Arsenal be? How resolute would Arsenal be? But there was moments where Ramsdale kind of, I don't know, man. He was just looking a bit off, First game in the season, a couple of missed passes, a couple of kicks, going astray and stuff, and that little bit of jitterness kind of creeped in. Then Gabriel Magalhaes started doing some off passes and stuff like that. Defensively, it was a decent display. I think it was a decent display, barring just those little bits of mistakes that kind of, was that kind of, how can I put it? The nervousness of it all kind of was creeping in a little bit. But when you got someone like William Saliba, and I'm going to go into William Saliba very, very soon, because I just want to kind of discuss what this player is about. And last night, there was a lot of, I don't want to say that he was being gassed or anything like that, because you could see the talent that was there. But I just want to kind of maybe put things into a little bit perspective, but I'll get into that. Anyway, so Arsenal were able to sustain the pressure, especially the back end of the first half, sustain the pressure. It's gone in. Who had the chance? Was it Edward? Was it Edward that had the header and Ramsey saved it? So Crystal Palace had their chances as well, which if they scored, Selhurst Park would have just been bumping. That would have been the thing that really would have got Crystal Palace in the game. And I feel like with Palace, they did lack that danger man. Like, I know that Edward has scored goals. Apparently he scored maybe 2 goals prior to the game, which gave him the nod ahead of Mateta, who's just equally as dangerous as well. Big unit up front. He gave us a lot of problems last season. But they went with Edward and he missed that chance. Great save from Ramsdale. And those are the kind of things that we've come accustomed to from Ramsdale. He's able to pull out the saves. Even in the second half, he pulled out a great save that came out. I think Eze had the chance for Crystal Palace to equalize in that. But Crystal Palace, yeah, they had their chances. Arsenal rolled their luck a little bit. Going into the second half, Crystal Palace picked it up once again, and they were pretty much dominant in the second half. I feel like Arsenal, by then, the energies were looking a bit low. Jesus wasn't running around as much. Odegaard also has some chances, man. He has some chances. And this is what I'm watching the game and I don't want to be overly critical because it's just the first game of the season. Everybody's kind of, dusting off their cobwebs, getting back into the swing of things. But I want Odegaard this season to really take charge. And when he gets into positions to shoot, he takes his chances. It's going to be very interesting to see like the likes of Fabio Vieira, who's from what we've seen in Portugal and stuff. For Porto, he's a man that likes to take his chances, likes to score goals, as well as the assist part of his game. But it's going to be interesting when he plays to see how he develops in the squad. But we need someone that's going to be able to take their chances in midfield. We definitely need a goal scoring midfielder. I do understand, the trying to assist and trying to score, but listen, you're an Arsenal Football Club now, captain of the team, so you got to take charge. Anyway, so that was a little bit frustrating. Saka was a little quiet in the game, and I was. It's hard to watch when you're watching the game. You're getting onto the team, but at the same time, the reality of it all is this is the first game of the season, so you're really trying to have that in mind. Like, you know what? Like, all right, cool. They're not going to be on job for the first game of the season all the way. So Saka was a bit quiet, a little bit frustrating. But then, just as I was getting onto him, I was like, Saka, man, come on. Boom! On the right-hand side, he's jinked his right. He's taken a shot. It's deflected off Crystal Palace captain Mark Gay, and own goal. Massively contributed by Saka, and that put Arsenal 2-0 up. And literally, for 3 points, that was given to Arsenal straight away. I was relieved. I was like, yes, let's go, because I just knew when it came to this game, if Arsenal would have lost, the banter, the memes, the voice notes, the WhatsApp groups would have been going off. And I guarantee it, all those that had everything ready for Arsenal in terms of the banter, you lot have locked away your material, at least for 1 week, which I can take, man. I'll take that for 1 week. No one's got anything to say, which is funny because I was saying this in the group chat. So I was just like, when Arsenal lose, the energy that people got for Arsenal, the energy. And then when I was asking people to like review the game or what they thought about the first game of the season, yeah, it's not like this was it wasn't like it was a preseason game, innit? The first game of the season, what did you think of the game? Like, how do you feel about the Premier League being back? And no one had anything to say. So I was like, all right, cool. But if Arsenal would have lost, oh my goodness, you would have seen it all. The memes, everything, the WhatsApp groups, social media would have been popping off. But hey, who cares? Arsenal beating Crystal Palace 2-0. A wonderful game. And just in general, just as a football fan, loving to see the Premier League back. Obviously, very, very glad to get football back up and running. And what a way to start the Premier League season. In terms of the player, the man of the match, William Saliba. Moving on to William Saliba right now. And what can I say? For those that maybe not too familiar with William Saliba, he's an Arsenal player that's been with Arsenal for about 3 seasons now. And he was lauded as, a really, really hot prospect, young buck. I think we got him at the age of 18, 19. At that particular time, he was deemed, too young. He was Unai Emery signing. And then obviously at that particular time, so we signed him, also signed him, and then sent him out on loan. During that period of time, Unai Emery obviously got sacked. Arteta's come in. All the pandemic, everything, all that was happening. There was also issues with his mum passed away as well. So when he came back during that period of time, his mum passed away. So then it was deemed that, it would be best for him to go back to France, to be closer to his family, as well as being able to develop as a player, especially as a young centre back. needing to develop, having that game time, being able to play week in, week out. At that particular time, Arsenal also, going through their transitional phase with Arteta coming in. Competition wise, with one period we wasn't even in Europe. So the game time wasn't going to be available for William Saliba. So he's done his time. He went out to, I believe it was Nice on loan. The following year, everybody was just like, whoa, he should come back. He should come back because he did well at Nice. Arteta and Edu still deemed it the fact that he needed more game time. So then he was then sent out on loan to Marseille, where he had a fantastic season. He was named a young player of the year, as well as getting 5 international caps for France. So that in itself was just showing, oh, hold on a second, we actually got a real talent. Now, like I said, if you're not too familiar with him, you're seeing Saliba now and you're thinking, right, like, look at this guy. But for me personally, it wasn't a shock to see such a great performance from him against Crystal Palace, just on the basis of talent. Like, we've seen the guy play. It would be no different if you was as we do nowadays. A player comes in, or you're signing a new player, you've gone online, you've checked him out, or you've watched him play in other leagues, and you think to yourself, right, this is actually a really good talent. So it was no different for me in that sense. What I was excited to see is just him playing his first game in the Premier League. And then for the rest of the world to be able to see the talent that we have. Now, in terms of what I was saying earlier on, is he being gassed, or, is the much plaudits and, the fanfare around him, is it, a thing that, is deserved? Because at the moment, a lot of people be like, oh, it's only the first game of the season. Don't get too carried away. That's true. I think all in all, even Arsenal just winning yesterday, nobody can get too carried away. 2-0 win, fantastic. I like the way that Arsenal dealt with Crystal Palace and being at Selhurst Park. I love the way Saliba played yesterday. And this is what is needed. So when I was talking about, Arsenal being very jittery at the back at times, Ramsdale, Gabriel at times, even Benny Blanco. Although that's not his natural position as a right back, which he done quite well dealing with Zaha. There was moments, I digress a little bit, but there was moments where I thought that it was going to be a Rob Holding situation. Picking up that yellow card, I thought, oh, please, man, control yourself. Don't get sucked in. Don't do anything stupid to pick up another yellow. But he did very well. But all in all, William Saliba, the way he's displayed, the way he played with such calmness, that allowed Arsenal then to kind of simmer down. These are the type of players that you need in your defense. When things are getting a bit jittery, you need a guy that when he gets the ball, he's calm, he's collected, he's not panicking. When he needed to slide tackle, he slid well. When he needed to header, he was up early. When he needed to pass, everything about his game yesterday was really, really good. Now, in terms of complimenting him, in terms of, reading out all the stats, in terms of loading him with all this praise, it's not me I can only speak for myself. I am not in any, way, shape or form trying to be like, oh my goodness, this is the next so-and-so. This is, as we're hearing right now, oh, this is the next Rio Ferdinand. Or let's calm down. First game of the season, brilliant debut. And I believe that there's going to be more to come from him. And that's the exciting part of it, because it's just like, finally, we get to see him play. And like I said, if you're an Arsenal fan, we know about this. We've had him for about 3 years. So we've just been, dying to see him play in the Premier League. And he had a really, really good game. Like, if this was a striker, like the likes of Nunes, Haaland, and they went out there, they bagged 2 goals or anything like that, would be, revving it up. Oh my gosh, you'll be saying all of these kind of things. So I feel like even if you're a defender, you're a midfielder, whatever, if you have a good game, if you have a really good debut performance, clean sheet at that as well, and it was largely because of William Saliba. You got to give him his praise, you got to give him his accolades and give him his flowers. And like I said, it's just about being excited to see him replicate these type of performances on a regular basis. But this is going to be his first season in the Premier League. I'm not expecting every game to be as good as that. He's young still. He's got to find his feet, but talent wise, the ability that he has, I believe that he will be capable and he'll be able to, you know, he'll be up for the challenge. Let's just put it that way. So that's William Saliba. But let me know, man. Let me know what you think about Arsenal's performance. What do you think about, their performance against Crystal Palace? What do you think about Crystal Palace this season? Do you think they're going to have enough to, push up the table? Patrick Vieira, once again, this is his second season with Crystal Palace. I feel like they might need a couple more signings just to give them more of an opportunity to do better than they did last season. But Arsenal, all in all, there's been a lot of hype. I'm kind of just like, allow it, please. Like, too much attention on Arsenal. But, there's talks of Arsenal possibly finishing third. Definitely Champions League. Champions League is a must. Last season I was laughed at. I appeared on, shows like Views TV Official, my boy Semps, and Patrick Tyrant. By the way, go and check out Patrick Tyrant, Chatty Patty. He's got his brand new sports channel right now, football channel. So go, I'll put the links in the description area and stuff like that, man. Go and check him out. Go and subscribe. He's got his show up and running. So like, I was on those shows, Views TV and stuff like that, and I was saying that Arsenal should be pushing for top 4. This is where I want Arsenal to be, and people was like, "What the hell? Top 4, man!" Obviously, Arsenal was languishing rock bottom at that particular time. So close. Those last few games just shagged us, and we wasn't able to get that top 4 position. But this season, it isn't even a case of like, we're just going to be trying to see what we can do. No, we have to push. Arsenal have to push for top 4, and that's what I'm expecting this season. But the likes of saying top 3, man, I don't know about that. There's going to be some really, really difficult games throughout this season. Arsenal are back into Europe. So, there's going to be more games. But let me know what you think. Put your comments down below. Also, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I know that you got to keep saying this, but please do make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me go on to the match week previews and predictions now. So just moving on to all the fixtures coming up for this brand new season. So today, 12:30 kickoff, I believe, on BT Sports or so. So, however you're going to be watching this, the game on various outlets or whatnot, go and check it out. Fulham versus Liverpool. So the runners-up of the Premier League versus the champions of the Championship. Fulham performed really, really well last season, man. They blitzed the Championship. So this is going to be a very, very good game. But also Liverpool looking, how can I say? Liverpool is still Liverpool, man. Despite everybody talking about Mane leaving and stuff like that, Klopp is, nobody can doubt Klopp. If the time where Wijnaldum left, people were saying, "Oh my goodness, like they're losing a great midfield in Wijnaldum," but they managed to cope. I'm not saying that Mane is not going to be missed, but with the likes of Luis Diaz, now they've got Darwin Núñez as well. I believe they're going to be able to cope. So this is going to be a really, really good game. I'm looking forward to seeing Darwin Núñez because obviously after the Community Shield, scoring his goal, I don't want to use the word that he's being hyped up because he's doing what he needs to do. He's a striker, a talented one at that. And, he scored his goal and that's going to give him a boost of confidence. Just the same way when people were getting onto him when he missed against Man United. He deserves his praises, obviously scoring a goal in the Community Shield. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. The following games, the 3:00 kickoffs will be Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Then we've got Leeds versus Wolves, Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. So newly promoted Nottingham Forest versus the mega rich Newcastle, which I'm sure most people would have thought going into this season that they was just going to blitz the transfer window. But I think, they're being sensible with it all. They still got to build, their reputation, their repertoire, as well as also, the FFP is about as well. So they can't just go mad in the transfer window. But Newcastle definitely in the next couple to a few transfer windows, you're going to see how they're going to be operating. Then you got Spurs versus Southampton. Conte really going to show what Spurs are all about this season. We saw, if you didn't see all the preseason training and how he had man running up and down the pitch. You got the likes of Kane collapsing, Son collapsing. They were really, really going into it. And, as an Arsenal fan or I'm looking over at Spurs and saying, man, you know what? They've got a strong team. Conte's brought well. He's bolstered where he needed to, fill in the gaps and make his team stronger with the likes of Basuma, Perisic. All these players obviously coming to Tottenham. They're going to have to prove themselves, but they've, in previous seasons, you've seen where Tottenham have kind of not been, have done great business in the summer and they've fallen short. So we're going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how they start off the season against Southampton, which are a team that's no joke, but at the same time, Southampton away at Tottenham, I can't really see Southampton winning that game. Everton versus Chelsea. This is going to be very interesting. Frank Lampard versus his old team, Chelsea. And I think it's going to be a kind of game where we're just going to be like, man, what we expecting from Everton, especially off the back of last season. They just narrowly escaped relegation. And then you got the likes of Chelsea who've gone through all of their madness with Roman Abramovich, obviously leaving. They're now being bankrolled by a new chairman who's just been going mad in the transfer window. Transfer window still open, going to be ending at the end of September. Sorry, the first week of September. So there's still time and opportunity for the likes of Chelsea to buy. We're hearing the likes of Frankie de Jong, Aubameyang, Memphis Depay. So, man, look at the names and the possible signings that they could be making. But for now, those players are not in. So they've got to make do with the players that they have got. So it's going to be very interesting to see, can Everton do something in this game? Can they get a win? Can they get 3 points in their first game of the season? Then we've got Leicester versus Brentford. These are the Sunday games. Man United versus Brighton. Man U. Hey, Man U. I wonder if we're going to be using that song this season. Listen, they got Ten Hag now, who's got, the new manager. Is there going to be a new manager effect, new manager bounce? Has he had enough time to kind of implement his ideas? Let's just say the whole CR37 situation has not been ideal. And these are the things that Ten Hag is now dealing with. And these are the things that when you become a manager of a top team, this is not Ajax, although they're a top team, but the league that they're in is not the greatest leagues. The things that are going on and around the club is not magnified, it's not intense as it would be at Man United. So every week, you even saw it not too long ago, that he was just loaded with so many questions about Ronaldo, what's this? Ronaldo, what's why is Ronaldo leaving early? Are you going to integrate Ronaldo into the squad this season? And he was getting frustrated, man. He's like, why you lot just keep? How come you lot keep talking about Ronaldo? Then when there's other players in the squad, there's other players that left early for the game as well. But this is what's going to happen when you're the manager of Man United. So going to be very interesting to see how they fare in their first game against Brighton. West Ham versus Man City. This is going to be a very interesting game to see how the likes of Haaland is going to fare in a game like this. A very, very tough. It's going to be a very, very tough and competitive game. I know that the London Stadium is going to be bumping, although people try and say that, the atmosphere there isn't the greatest. But look, I've been there and I've witnessed how these West Ham fans can really make a noise. And look, first game of the season against the league champions, no better way to start the league. And I believe you me, that stadium is going to be rocking. So it's going to be very interesting to see the likes of Man City, who usually, not always, have it their own way when it comes to the first game of the season. We've seen them lose against teams like Norwich in the first game of the season. Sometimes Man City do start off a little bit slow to find their feet or whatnot. But it's almost like they give teams a head start, man, because once they start rocking, they start rocking. And it's like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see the likes of Erling Haaland, who I've been wanting for the longest time to, make his presence known in the Premier League. So, I'm a big, big admirer of Erling Haaland, and I believe that he's going to do great things in this league. Although he missed his chances in the Community Shield, but I reckon he's going to do well. I'm not really going to go through any predictions, anything like that, because I don't want to drag it on. But those are the games coming up today and Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday. So once again, you got Fulham versus Liverpool, Bournemouth versus Aston Villa, Leeds versus Wolves, Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest, Spurs versus Southampton, Everton versus Chelsea. Those are Saturday's games. And Sunday's games are Leicester versus Brentford, Man United versus Brighton, West Ham versus Man City. Just quickly before I leave you guys, I've always throughout this whole preseason, I've just been asked, what's your predictions? What's your prediction? Top six. And I've just been like, you know what? Honestly, it's a tough one. And I think like you shouldn't be scared to just say like, you know what? I really don't know. I really don't know. But if I was to give just off the top of my head, without really trying to think about it too much at this present moment, top six, I would say, would be Man City, Liverpool. And when I'm saying Man City, Liverpool, that can easily change, as we've seen last season, how close it was. It could be Liverpool, Man City, Liverpool. But I'm gonna give it to Man City because I just feel like, yeah, they might just have the edge over Liverpool on this occasion once again. Then this is where now I've had an issue. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Third place, I want to put a third place. I would say with the Conte effect, I will probably say Spurs. As much as that hurts me, I will probably say Spurs. Fourth, Arsenal. But once again, I believe that could also change. But I will say third, Spurs, fourth, Arsenal. Then this is where it gets a bit techie, because as much as people are not really giving Chelsea their dues, I think like, once they get the players that they need, they're going to be there, man. They're going to be up there. So 5th, Chelsea. 6th, Man United. But me giving those teams in that order, in that selection, whatever you want to say, it can change, man. I feel like all the teams right now are strong. Man United as well. I don't think you can sleep on them. I feel like Ten Hag has got a hold of this team, but they're just going under the radar at the moment. But I think Man United are going to do well this season. Chelsea also, once they get in the groove, they're going to do well. These strong teams, Arsenal, Spurs, Man City, Liverpool. Ugh, man, this season is gonna be actually mad. It's actually gonna be mad, and then let alone like teams like Aston Villa, Newcastle, maybe Crystal Palace might be in the mix as well if they get a couple good players. Not in the mix for the top 6, but what I'm saying is just like all the teams below that are the teams that are going to be putting pressure on teams trying to achieve that. Yeah, how can I put it? Like sixth place to 4th place, so you're gonna have to really beat these teams as well. You can't take them lightly. So it's gonna be very interesting. I want to do another show where I go into like more into details in regards to the top 6, looking at the Champions League positions, European League positions, and also going to be looking at the teams that have been promoted, see how well they're going to be doing this season, giving my predictions on that, and also just thinking about what teams are going to be in that relegation battle for this season. So there's a lot to chat about. I don't want to really go on for days on end with this video, with this live, but it's just I'm excited, man. What can I say? I know I've been rambling on, I've been talking for an age, but look, I'm excited. First game of the season, like I said, happy Prem new season to you all. Hope you lot have obviously enjoyed the first game of the season, and I'm looking forward to more games. Like I said, I'm back with this show. This is a Dash of Sports Premier League show. Leave your comments down below. Let me know. Obviously, interact with me. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. I don't bite. Let me know. Chat. We'll chop it up. If you got any suggestions on any topics that you want me to cover in regards to Premier League football, let me know. I'm trying to, just make the show a better show for you guys. And also remember, a Dash of Sports, the main show, my baby, that is coming back. That's where I discuss all things sports news, anything sports related. So sports news, hot topics, and trending stories. So there's a lot going on right now with boxing, the F1, you got MMA. I even talk about wrestling also. I discussed that. I'm a big wrestling head as well. So anything sports related, sports entertainment, that's where I cover it. So that's coming back soon, very, very soon. So make sure that you stay locked with that. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate all your love and support. I love doing this. I know I've been away for a while, but yeah, man, I'm back, and I'm looking forward to all the content I'm going to be putting out. So until the next time here on a Premier League show, a Dash of Sports Premier League show, keep it locked and peace.